In case you haven't noticed lately, there are a lot of things for someone to get offended about lately. And especially at your place of business or your place of worship, people are finding reasons and excuses to just kind of vent their anger, frustration, and angst. Now, among churches, one of the critical things that they need to be aware of is some people having upset with Roe v. Wade, abortion issues, LGBTQ issues, and now on top of all that pile, add the fact that there are some people out there who consider themselves First Amendment auditors who will go around and potentially go onto your church property or be near it and create some type of confrontational situation just to see if their First Amendment rights are violated. Now, very recently, a friend of mine let me know that his church had just recently been audited by one of these people. People who have very little going on in their life, and they just take it upon themselves to go around and create these very challenging, stressful, confrontational situations just to see if their First Amendment rights are going to be violated. Very reckless, very dangerous, very silly, and uncalled for. But these people looking for an excuse and a reason to feel some type of purpose in their life will go around and doing this. And you've got to be aware of how to more successfully and effectively deal with these individuals so that you don't end up saying or doing something that escalates the situation because you end up getting frustrated, impatient, or offended by the things that they say or do. Now, generally, most of these people will stand up out on the sidewalk, on a public roadway, and the public property, and they'll stand there and videotape you, videotape the building, and just stand there to the point where somebody normally will come out there and just greet them and say, "Hey, how you doing? Is there anything I can do to help?" And this person, the auditor, will immediately become very confrontational, very condescending, dismissive, antagonistic, just to get a rise out of the person who's approached them. Now, my buddy sent me a link to a video that was posted on YouTube by one of these auditors. I'm not going to mention his name or his page because I'm not trying to give him any attention, but what I want to talk about is how well three different individuals at my friend's church handled this situation without allowing themselves to become upset, frustrated, or offended by the things that this person was saying. And I've broken down the video so that each of the contacts, I'm going to talk about how well each of the three individuals handled the situation. I've broken down the video so that we can talk about each contact individually. So the guy is standing outside the church and he's videotaping the building, and the first individual, I'll call him Darren, walks up and greets him. "Hey, how you doing?" And check out the little segment, this little video. I've kind of compressed a couple, it's a long video, his interaction with this individual, but I've compressed it and edited it. But take a look at how this individual, this auditor, starts reacting and talking to this individual, his tone of voice, the words he's using, and so on. Check it out.
There's the fellow hall where they fellowship, I suppose. UBSM.
Morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, you?
I'm doing well, thanks. What are you up to?
What does it look like I'm up to?
It looks like you're zoomed in looking at cameras on the building.
Maybe I'm looking at the steeple. Maybe I'm watching the birds. Maybe
That's
I'm
nice.
maybe I'm waiting for Superman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So which one is it?
Well, which one do you think it is?
I was asking you. I was letting you
I'm
know.
asking you.
I think you're looking at cameras.
Oh, okay.
But
Is that what kind of a negative mind you got, dude?
I was letting you tell me.
Oh, okay.
I was giving you an
I'm on a
opportunity.
public sidewalk, dude.
I'm not telling you gotta go. I'm not trying to get on to you or anything.
Are you trying to infringe on my rights? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, not at all.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, you come up here asking me what I'm doing, and then you accuse me of zooming in on the cameras. I mean, dude, there's a camera on that stoplight over there. There's a camera over there. There's cameras everywhere you go.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think I go around zooming on all cameras?
Oh,
Well, I mean, I wouldn't approach you at Walmart and say, "Hey, man, what are you buying in Walmart?"
You'd have the right to. Hey, are those chips any good? You know, that'd be fine. That'd be fine to make conversation.
Not really. I would
What
mind
kind of
my.
chips?
That's what's wrong with this country. People minding each other's business. Like I said, I'm on a public sidewalk. I'm not bothering anybody. I was taking pictures of the building, and you approached me. Do you see what's wrong with that, dude? You see, you could have kept on walking, mind your own business. I would have minded my own business, took my pictures, and went on my. Did you see me approach you?
You were trying to.
Did I approach you? No. I asked you a question. Did I approach you?
I approached you at the beginning.
Did I approach you? Did I approach you?
No,
You approached me, right?
but you're continuing to have a conversation. I'm trying to exit.
No, I know, but did I approach you?
No.
You approached me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're dismissed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, Mike, it was nice to meet you. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, you're dismissed. Do the walk of shame.
Just rude and obnoxious and so on. First, Darren, after interacting with this individual, finally realizes there's no point in talking to this individual. It's throwing pearls of swine. It's a waste of time, money, and effort. You're not going to change this auditor's mind, change the behavior, anything. They are there to create some type of confrontation. And really, the only way they can audit anything to test whether or not their First Amendment rights are going to be violated is to create some type of confrontation. And it doesn't matter how rude, obnoxious they are. It's all about them and their feelings and their rights and so on. And so anyway, Darren number one starts to walk away. Darren number two, I'll call him Darren Jr., kind of picks up the conversation and tries to talk to him. Check out how our auditor continues to behave. Tone of voice, words he uses, very antagonistic, confrontational, demeaning, condescending.
I mean, I'm on a public sidewalk. I see an old building. I like to take photographs, and he approached me. The first words out of his mouth was, "What are you doing? Zooming in on the cameras?" I mean, who goes up to somebody doing that? That's taking pictures, dude.
Is there a certain age of building? Just any old building?
Well, I would assume this was built in the 60s, 70s.
Depends on which part. So there's a part over you can't see from this way over that was built quite a bit, I think in the 50s.
That's what I thought.
I mean, I'm no.
You ever watch American Pickers?
I do.
Look at the old building I found.
Yeah.
I'm kind of an urban explorer is what I am, and I love old things. I love vintage cars because they don't make them anymore. The cars they make today is junk. I remember the old days. You remember the old Coke bottles, the glass Coke bottles and all that? I'm into history. I'm a big history buff. I love history. And was I bothering anybody? Was I breaking the law?
I wasn't here. I couldn't say, but
I mean, I'm on a public sidewalk. This is where I've been standing. So is this illegal?
not to my knowledge.
So is taking pictures of the building illegal?
No, I don't guess so.
So why would he approach me then?
Well, I mean, he just, he probably just didn't know you, and maybe I can't put words in his mouth, but maybe he was just wondering what's going on.
Well, how would you like it if I walked into the store, if he was at Walmart and walked up to you, was standing out here. Like I said, I'm an independent journalist gathering content for a story. I didn't appreciate the fact that one of your church members is supposed to be Christian, walks up to me with his ass walks up to me, stands right there and says, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, by the way, are you zooming in on our cameras?" That insulted my intelligence. Maybe you want to have a talk with him. You shouldn't approach somebody in public like that.
Yeah.
And especially outside your church, you're supposed to be Christian, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We're supposed to love thy neighbor, right?
Right.
I mean, we're supposed to have freedoms in this country, right? It's like our Constitution is taking a real butt kicking right now. Our rights are being taken away from us every day, every single day, if you haven't noticed that. And I have the perfect right, as my First Amendment right, to stand on a public sidewalk and take pictures of a building without being approached.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys are standing right here watching me, everything I do. Oh my God. Everybody's getting into church.
It's our job just to look for anything that's abnormal.
So is it abnormal that somebody comes by with a camera taking pictures of the building?
Yeah, sure.
Why?
Sure.
How do you know that
that
yesterday 10 people didn't come by here taking pictures of the building?
and we weren't there. We weren't here.
Yeah,
we
but
weren't here because the service was not here.
who says that Friday 100 people didn't walk by here and take pictures of the building? Could be. So why is it really abnormal? There's cameras everywhere you go. You realize when you step out of your house, you get recorded 80, 90 times a day? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
There's cameras everywhere you go, dude. Walmart. I mean, I'm sure you've got security cameras. There's cameras in every stoplight. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. There's a satellite in orbit that looks down at us. It looks at you as well as I can look at you now. I mean, what's the difference? You're being recorded every time you step out of your house.
I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. That gentleman, he saw something that was abnormal.
So these two guys right here, I've already been approached by 4 different people asking me what I'm doing on a public sidewalk, that I look suspicious. One guy accused me of zooming in on the cameras. The next guy was asking me why I was taking pictures on a public sidewalk. This guy thinks it's abnormal and threatening that I'm on a public sidewalk taking pictures of everything I can see in public. Which he should know the law. I mean, he should have had 4th grade education that you can't trespass what your eyes can see. So who says I don't have a photographic memory and I don't walk by here and I don't see the church and I can remember it? But yet it's abnormal and it's threatening that I'm on a public sidewalk taking pictures of everything I can see in public. I just don't understand that logic.
As each of these men walk away, our auditor very sarcastically and condescendingly makes a comment about how they're doing the walk of shame. Whatever. So anyway, so now Darren the third is there, wearing a little earpiece, part of the security team, and he's standing there and he lets himself get engaged with this individual, talking to him. Great job with the body language and tone of voice, not letting yourself get bent out of shape, frustrated, offended, or impatient with this individual who is standing on the sidewalk, right? After a while, finally, Darren the third just decides there's no point in talking to him anymore and just finally disengages, ignores him, and our subject finally walks away. So just to highlight this whole situation, fantastic job by the 3 individuals. It's actually kind of rare that you have 3 independent personalities, individuals, walk up and engage a potentially volatile, stressful, confrontational situation, and everyone handle it right. Because invariably, human nature being what it is, what's our normal, natural reaction to someone being rude, condescending, and obnoxious to us when all we're trying to do is help and see if there's anything we can do to help? If you're in the security business, and as most of you guys know, whether you're in a business or church or whatever, you see someone standing out there and they're just videotaping your property, at some point you may go out there to greet them and see if there's anything you can do to help and see what's going on. These individuals, these auditors, will create a stressful confrontational situation out of that, because that's the only way they can get themselves on YouTube and so on. Great job by these 3 individuals, working as a team, not allowing themselves to get bent out of shape with this individual. The only thing I would do different, that I would ask, and for those of you watching this, consider this. Recognize as soon as possible that the person you're dealing with is looking for confrontation, and disengage and walk away. They're standing out on a public walkway. They're not violating any law, rule, policy, or regulation. Walk away. And in fact, is there really a reason to call the police? Because all you're doing is passing on this drama onto a police officer who's going to have to deal with it, waste time, money, and effort with an individual who's not doing anything other than standing on a sidewalk videotaping your building. And it's not like you're Fort Knox or a military installation or Area 51 or anything like that where videos and cameras are forbidden and so on. Take a deep breath, assess the situation. Is this a situation where you really need to get engaged and get into an argument and get sucked down this rabbit hole going back and forth with one of these auditors? Let it go. Let it go. If you're standing out there on your property and you see someone out on the sidewalk, watch them for a moment. Do you really need to go out there and engage them? Long, slow, deep breath. Consider among yourselves how you're going to handle a situation like this. And just recognize there's no law, rule, policy, regulation that states that you will, you shall, you must engage with someone. And if and once you do make contact and engage with them, recognize immediately that there's no point in having a conversation with them because you're not going to change their mind. You're not going to alter their belief or whatever. There's no point. Turn around and walk away. Just walk away and do that walk of shame. Whatever. See you on the next video.